They kicked me out of the company I built from scratch. So I sold my 51%, and within hours, my phone blew up with 25 missed calls, all from the same people who thought I was nothing without them. I never imagined the company I built from the ground up would become the stage for my greatest betrayal. It all started in a small garage with a borrowed laptop, a cheap coffee maker, and an idea I believed in more than anything else. I put in the work, late nights, unpaid months, failed pitches, and endless sacrifices. Slowly but surely, it grew. Clients came in. Revenue climbed. I hired help and brought in people I trusted, my own family. I thought I was doing the right thing, keeping it in the blood. I gave them positions, titles, and shares, not because they earned it, but because I believed loyalty was more valuable than skill. At first, everything ran smoothly. We celebrated small wins together, and I genuinely thought we were a team. But over time, the smiles faded. I noticed quiet meetings happening without me, decisions being made behind my back, and a strange shift in energy. My voice in the company I created was growing smaller, and theirs was growing louder. It wasn't until I walked into what I thought was a regular board meeting that everything became clear. They had the paperwork ready. My cousin read through it like he had rehearsed it 100 times. They had held private discussions, gained enough votes, and decided I was no longer fit to lead. My brother, who I had trained personally, looked me in the eye and said, "It's nothing personal. Just business." My heart pounded, not from anger, but from pure disbelief. I sat there, surrounded by people I had uplifted, who now saw me as a threat to their comfort. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I smiled. That kind of betrayal doesn't deserve a reaction, it deserves a reminder. They forgot who built this place. They forgot who made their salaries possible. But I hadn't. I stood up, adjusted my jacket, and said, "Thank you for making this decision easier." They looked confused, but I walked out with more clarity than ever. They thought they had taken everything from me, but they forgot one thing. I still owned 51% of the company. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, not angry, focused. I went through old emails, pulled up the last conversation with a major competitor that had offered to buy a controlling share in our company 6 months ago. I had rejected them then, thinking family came first. But now, there was nothing holding me back. I called their CEO directly. He answered. I said, "Are you still interested in a majority share?" His answer was quick, "Absolutely." The next day, I met with their legal team. The deal was sealed faster than I expected. And with that single signature, I gave away control of the very empire my family thought they had stolen from me, except now, they weren't answering to me. They were answering to someone who didn't care about their last name. And I was finally free. The next morning, as the ink on the contract dried, the storm began. I hadn't said a word to anyone in the family. No announcements. No warnings. I let the papers do the talking. The competitor I sold my 51% stake to wasted no time. By noon, he sent out his own executive team to visit the office, our office. The one I had once designed from scratch with bare walls and used furniture. Now it was theirs. Within hours, they began implementing changes. Emails were sent, department heads were replaced, and financial controls were shifted. My phone, silent. For days, suddenly lit up like a Christmas tree. 25 missed calls in less than an hour. First from my brother, then my cousin, then even my mother, who had stayed out of the business but never hesitated to defend her favorite son when things got tough. They all wanted to talk. My brother texted, "What the hell did you do?" My cousin messaged, "We need to fix this." Fix what? They broke the trust. They made their move. I simply made mine. I watched the panic unfold in real time. Social media buzzed with rumors. Clients called in confused about the leadership change. Employees began to question who was in charge. It was chaos, and it was not my problem anymore. For the first time in years, I felt a strange peace. Not satisfaction in their downfall, but relief from the burden of constantly proving my worth to people who never respected it in the first place. Later that evening, my brother finally got through. I picked up. There was a long pause before he said, "You didn't have to go that far." I replied calmly, "You went further when you tried to erase me." He tried to reason, offering ideas to work together again, but I was done. There was no going back. Trust once broken doesn't rebuild itself with panic, it needs truth, and they had never given me that. I wished him well and ended the call. I took a deep breath, stood on my apartment balcony, and looked out at the skyline I had once only dreamed of from a basement office. I built something great, and when they forced me out, I didn't just walk away, I left with the power they never thought I'd use. I didn't need revenge. I needed peace. And now, I had it. The company I founded was no longer mine, but neither was the weight of dragging along people who never believed in me. That day, I didn't just lose a company. I shed a past that held me back. They kicked me out thinking they had one, but all they did was set me free.